Hello friends, Lee here from TableTop Bong. Thanks for joining me. In this video, we're going to do part 3 of vaporizer or vaping basics. And we're going to cover, just really quickly, we're going to talk about batteries and torches. So we're going to go through this quickly, but there's some terminology that if you're not familiar with what it means, it might really make vape buying confusing. So I thought I would just put together a real quick video. We'd walk through what some of the terms are, what they mean, and I would show you a quick example so that you could do the math in your mind and say, okay, I got it, right? Like to me, that's what I need anyway. I need somebody to show me, okay, this is what this means, and I can tangibly see it. Makes a little bit more sense to me. I lock it away and I've got it. So I thought I would do that for you guys. So let's start talking about batteries. Okay, so vaporizers, especially like obviously portable vaporizers, battery power is a big deal. So you have to understand when you're, reading a description, for instance, about a vaporizer and they're talking about the battery, what it means. So basically, you have a couple of different options for batteries. You have built-in battery and you have removable and replaceable, right? So like rechargeable batteries that you can take out of the device, charge in an external charger while adding new batteries. So that, those are the two kind of things that are out there. And then within that, there is also understanding like the charging cords. So let's just talk about that really, really quickly. So here's, for instance, this is the Arizer Solo 2. This has a built-in battery. So you cannot remove the battery of this device. If it needs to be replaced, I'm sure a technician can replace it, but it's really not designed to be taken out and, charged externally. It is in the device. So second thing with this particular device is this is the charging, this is where you plug in the charger. So this is what the cord looks like. So you can see this end here. So this brings me to a term that you may hear when you're looking at vaporizers, and this is what they call a dedicated cord. So it's a specific cord designed to plug into a specific port with a specific vaporizer. It's not universal. This is not like a USB-C or micro USB. This is specific to the device. So that term again is dedicated cord. Okay, so that, I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but if you've never heard the term, maybe it's not, right? Who knows? Who knows? I know I found it all very overwhelming in the beginning, way back in the day. When I started looking at all this stuff, I was definitely, I felt confused. So, these terms, why not talk about them? So this is what they call a replaceable, rechargeable 18650 battery, okay? So this is basically like a AA battery, just bigger. That's all there is to it. So then when they talk about external chargers, this is it. It's nothing fancy, right? It's just like a regular AA rechargeable battery kind of thing. You just stick it in there and plug it in and it charges the battery. So when you hear that term, replaceable 18650, that's exactly what that means. So now let's talk about charging ports, right? Because you have to think about this for a minute too. Like this, for instance, this is the Angus and its charging port is here and it's USB-C. So a simple USB-C cable will charge this, which they are pretty much everywhere, right? So that's a really nice thing as opposed to a dedicated charging cord like something like the Solo 2 has. Okay, so that basically, I think covers the battery portion. So now let's talk about, for a minute before we move on, let's talk about what does, when you're reading a description on a vaporizer and they say, 90 minutes of runtime per charge. What does that mean? How many times can you use it before you have to recharge it? That's really what we want to know, right? So the way they're saying 90 minutes of runtime. So that's if you turn the device on to something like, say, 185 degrees or 180 degrees, not to the top temperature, but to a mid-range temperature. And then you were to keep the device running, how long would it run on a single charge? 90 minutes. Well, that's not real life though, right, guys? Like, that's what we have to think about. It's not real life. In real life, you heat it up and turn it off, and heat it up and turn it off. And that really does eat into that runtime. So if you're doing the math and saying, I need a vape that I can get a good 5 or 6 solid sessions out of, then you want to make sure you're looking at 90 minutes of runtime, right? Like, if you play around with it a little bit, you'll get to see that's kind of how it works out. If you've got 90 minutes of runtime, you're going to get about 6 solid sessions, right? A couple of bowls per session, you'll get like 6 of them. And then it's going to be time to recharge. So if you think that's not going to be enough, let me suggest to you that you pick up a vaporizer like this, for instance, with this nice USB-C charging, right? Nice, easy cord, but it also here and here houses 2 18650 batteries. So it's got one on each side inside it. So you can take those out, put them in the charger, and put 2 fresh ones that are already fully charged in the device and just keep going. So that's the benefit to having the replaceable 18650 batteries. So if you're a real heavy vapor and you think that you're going to struggle with battery life, definitely get something with the replaceable 18650 batteries. You're going to be really, really happy that you did. Excuse me. All right, so we're just going to quickly talk about torches as well. We might as well just do it all in one video, right? We'll talk torches really quick. So some of the terms that you're going to hear with torches is single flame, double flame, triple flame. I think you can probably sort out what that means, but I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is single flame. One flame coming out. This is double flame. See, 2 flames. And triple flame. It has 3. Get that in there. 3 flames. So that's a single, double, triple flame torch. So why would you want one versus the other? Depending on the device you're heating up. If you're heating up something with very thick metal, say something like the anvil or something like that, that has a lot of metal to it that needs to be heated, the bigger the torch, like the more flames that you have, a triple flame torch is going to heat it up faster than a single or a double flame torch. So that would be a great option if that's your plan, to go to an analog vape that's going to require a lot of heat to heat it up. Then definitely have a look at the triple flame torch. Now, here's the key thing that you're going to need to understand about torches if you're new to using torches with vaporizers. If you're using something like, say, even this Hippie Pipe X here, when you're heating it up, you can only heat it up so much, right, before you're going to start to incinerate what's in here. So you can heat it with either a single, a double, or a triple flame torch. You can use a big torch like this that you can have a big flame or a small flame. This holds all kinds of fluid. So, that's kind of an advantage to a bigger torch, is you don't have to fill it as often. But other than that, really, there is no major advantage to the bigger torch. Just in case you're wondering, it really doesn't make that big of a difference. I can get far more heat out of this little triple flame torch than I ever could out of this big single flame torch. So when you're heating this, you can only heat it up so much. So you think, well, I'll just use a triple flame torch and I'll just heat it up faster, right? Like, seems simple. But it has a different effect on the inside. The speed in which you heat the vaporizers will affect will affect what's going on inside the vaporizer. So you're going to have more of a darker roast if you're using a triple flame torch to heat this up than you would if you're using a single flame torch. So if you think about it in that sense, if you want the really big fat rips, bigger torches are going to really help you get there. If you're looking for really smooth, flavorful, and middle of the road rips, single and double flame torch is probably going to be a better option than a triple flame torch. So really, guys, those are the basics. You can spend a ton of money on a torch, or you can realize that if you don't spend a lot of money on a torch, you're going to replace them often. I mean, they're an item that it just seems to work that way. You don't seem to get too many torches without spending a fairly good amount of money that you're going to get more than 6 months or so out of before, it starts not lighting every time you hit it or whatever the case is, right? So it's kind of the nature of the beast, is just to realize that these things, they don't last forever, right? But you do get what you pay for with torches, for sure, just like you do with vaporizers. All right, guys, I hope that helps to answer any questions that you might have about batteries or torches when you're getting into vaping. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video or got anything out of it at all. All right, until next time, thank you and take care.